I'm Diane Mickelson, and welcome to our home. I'm glad that you have joined me here. I'm going to tell you a little story. Many people ask us how in the world we got into this business, and I got to tell you, we're not really sure. It just sort of found us. We come from an academic world of teaching, writing. We come from a corporate world of being a market research director, and Lauren was an art director. We come from more of a private practice world. We come from a normal world, of which we thought was normal. We had never heard of a metaphysical world. We had never heard that there was these other things taking place. So this whole thing was a real mystery to us in the very beginning. It's been very interesting because I'm very left-brain. I'm a prove it to me and I'll believe it. Lauren is a little right-brain. He's very creative, and he's much more of the kind of go with the flow kind of a guy. It's interesting that we're even together after all these years, isn't it? Well, anyway, so that sort of sets the stage for us. Now, Lauren and I are really kind of artsy folks, and we like rocks, and we collect rocks, and we didn't know rocks had anything metaphysical properties or anything. They were just rocks, and we liked them. So we went to a rock and gem show at the St. Paul Fairgrounds. And we went there, and we'd always wanted a crystal family. And you know crystal families where all those crystals are together, and we just really wanted one. And we went there, and oh my goodness, there was this one vendor that had this huge amount of crystals. And he was the most derelict looking man you have ever seen in your life. And we looked at him and we found out, oh my goodness, exactly what we wanted. And the price is right. But the man was just kind of obscene, a big unkept guy, a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, ashes going all over. And we sort of, in our ego-ness, walked away and went around to all the other little vendors, but came back to him. And we found the crystal family and a lot of the different things that we liked. And we purchased them. And he leaned over to us and he said, I have a message for you. I have things I have to tell you. And we thought, oh, right, right. No, I don't think so. And no, he says, really, I have something I really need to tell you. And so Lauren and I looked at each other and we said, well, okay. And we told him where we lived, which was about a mile from the fairgrounds. And it was getting later on in the day, so we just went home. And probably within 15 minutes, the doorbell rang. And in came standing in front of us was this very kept-looking man in a suit, hair combed, and we said, well, who are you? And he says, I'm the man from the rock show. We said, we can't be the man from the rock show. And he says, yes, and I have a story to tell you. And so for the next 5 hours, this man told us the story of our lifetime, actually, of Lemuria, Mu, Atlantis, of which we'd never heard of any of these things. And he said in those lifetimes that we were actually implanted with limitations to keep us from doing things in other lifetimes, and each time these limitations would be, go on with us. Now we just kind of looked at each other, and this was just like obscene to us, and we'd never heard of any of these kinds of things. Now our daughter happened to be there, and she was 17 at the time, and she was looking to us and just kind of shaking her head too. And he looked at me and he said, Diane, now I have no idea why he knew my name was Diane, but he did. And he says, Diane, you see these things. And I said, see what? And he says, well, look at all the lights and colors around Lauren and Heidi. And I didn't know how he knew their names either. And I said, well, yeah. And he says, Diane, most people can't see those. And I said, well, sure they can. And I looked at Lauren, remember the creative one. And I said, Lauren, do you see these colors? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And so I was 46 years old at the time, and that was when I found out that I had seen colors and lights and things that no one else saw. Now this was kind of daunting to me at the time. And he said, these are the limitations in Lauren's and Heidi's auric fields. Now I want you to just look at him, and I want you to touch right here. And I went over to his shoulder and I touched, and everything got really bright. And he said, now I just want you to twist. And it all went off. And I said, oh my goodness, what's that? And he says, you just turned off Lauren's limitations. Now let's go on and continue. We did Lauren and Heidi. And I looked at him and I said, so what does that mean? He says, that means they're going to be able to go on in life without their limitations. Now that doesn't mean that, that everything's going to be bright and shiny for them. It just means that they will be able to do what they came here to do. And this is your life's work. And we sort of looked at each other and we said, what do you mean our life's work? He says, this is why you came here. Now with that, we sort of looked at each other, and it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. And we bid this man goodbye and said, hey, thank you very much for visiting us. And he went on his way. Now the three of us sat down with paper and pencil and wrote out reams of paper of questions. We wanted to ask him, what's this all about? Because we were just, remember, left brain, trying to figure it all out. So we went back to the Rock and Gem show the second day. He wasn't there. No one had ever seen him. Now, that really kind of blew our minds. And we thought, well, everybody else must be crazy, certainly not us. And so we just continued our life because, you know, we weren't going to do this crazy work because I'm not really sure anybody should do this crazy work. But our lives got tremendously difficult and everything just got hell in a handbasket is what I would have to say. And people kept showing up our door, knocking and saying, will you help us? I know you can help us. Spirit told us you can help us. And we didn't know what was going on, but like I said, the next few months our life got worse and worse and more difficult. And so one day I was driving downtown St. Paul. I was going to the post office, and in an intersection, now this is the capital city of Minnesota, so very, very busy street, and we was in a little Honda Civic, and my car stalled right in the middle of a busy intersection at noon. Cars were honking all over, and there on the dashboard appears a whole console of men dressed in white. And they looked at us and they said to me, we told you this was our life work. Are you going to listen to us now? Well, that just freaked me to death. I didn't know what was going on. I said, and we sat there, everything was just all a buzz all around me. And they said, calm down, breathe. Now listen, this is your life's work and we'll show you what to do. And I said, okay, I give in. And with that, the traffic parted. I went home and I said, I guess, Lauren, we have our life's work. Now you can read a whole lot more about this story on our website at www.DrsMick.com. Trust me, it's much more complete than this. And do join us. Our website has all kinds of interesting information, so join us. And thanks for joining. Thank you.